You know what's the funny part about this module? The funny part is I haven't run even the single script yet. Yes, we haven't hit the run button yet. No script was executed. Isn't it funny? Yes, it is, but don't worry, we will take care of that. So hello everyone and welcome to this movie. This is a super important movie and I'll tell you why. Now, there is nothing that we can run in this movie again, but why this is super important? Now, we are here talking about the comments. So the very first comment that you have seen me writing is /usr bin/python, something like this. And you might be saying, yes, we already came to know it is a self-understanding that you have been writing a lot of comments in the so far exercise file, but we have already figured it out that this # is responsible for comment. So I can say this is a comment, and that's a great thing. Yes, with a double A. It shouldn't be like that, so here it is. But what about the first line? Why it says a hash sign, then a bang sign, and then /usr bin? Now, this is the first line, and chances are high that if you are writing your script on a Mac or on a Linux, this is the first line where you really want to check out, because this first line, after a hash sign when there is a bang sign, it is an indicator that it is searching for an interpreter. This line will go onto the path that is /usr/bin and will try to locate the Python interpreter. But if this line is having a slightish error, let's say I'm quite a typo guy, so I made a typo like this. Now, of course, this file is not going to run directly. You need to make sure that you are explicitly providing the interpreter, which is not at all a good thing. People are fond of just executing the file directly. We will talk about that later on. Have patience about that. But this is the one way of writing a comment. So why do you want to have comment? Maybe you are building up an application, a game application. You want to calculate bonus somewhere. You want to give extra life to a player somewhere. You want to change the level somewhere. And all of these are going to be a simple function, a simple piece of code that you are going to be calling up. But where is that code? Let's say you are hiring a new programmer to help you, to assist you, and he has no idea what's going on. He have to read the code, he have to apply the logic by his own and do the pretty much stuff. And yes, this is a hard part, and to get rid of this hard part, we put the comments. So maybe we can simply say that this is a bonus section. So see, we are simply having this is a bonus section. Okay, and after that we write some code. Let's say some code is out here. Let's say some function. Don't just go onto the code. What I'm writing, I'm just saying this is some code. And let's say after some time you decided that this is the part where you give extra life to the player, and there might be some code again. So let's say this code is out here, and there you go. It's perfectly a valid syntax, but this is now much more readable. But it is not always going to happen that you are just going to write a single line. Sometimes comments are big. You want to make sure that your neighbor who is writing code again with you, make sure that he understands the entire logic out there. So how we can write out the multi-line comment? Now here's the time where you can pause the video and search it out on the Google. And there you go, pause it. Okay, you have paused, you have searched, but you haven't found much of the thing, how to write multi-lines of comments. And yes, there is nothing such thing in the official documentation. But a very important guy in the Python once rolled out a quick Python tip on his Twitter account. And who is that? Let me just show you out here. And you might already be familiar with this name, Guido van Rossum. Important part is that there is no capital V in the van. According to Guido, this is super important. Okay, so what he says, apart from the jokes, you can use multi-line strings as multi-line comments unless used as a doc string. They generate no code. Okay, so far so good, but we didn't got what he said because we are new in the Python field. But I am here to help you, so let me close that. And how we can write multi-lines of comments. So let me just move out here. The multi-line comments start. Now this is not actually the ideal way, but it is a trick how we imply that. Just put triple quotes. Again, there are no single quote, no double quote, but triple quote. And I say, this is a multi-line and again comment. and close this again with a triple quote and save that, and this is your multi-line comment. Now this is a part which is quite being used by a string, especially with the doc type string, but this is a way, or we can simply say a drive-through, which we can use to apply multi-lines of comment, and this is quite common in Python programming. So now you have figured out how we can do that. Again, it's a good time to follow up Guido van Rossum. He occasionally roll out such Python tips and tricks and all of that. It's really good to know him personally with that. And again, I would really suggest you all to at least once a while visit his website. He's really a nice guy and rolls out quite a lot of things on his website. Again, nothing much to execute in this movie as well, but we have learned how to write single line and multi-lines of comments. Now here comes another point. Now a lot of programmer just ironically says, just to kill the time, that if it was hard to write, it should be hard to read. I'm not quite a fan of that. Yes, it sounds good. It is fun to hear about that, but that's not a right thing. You should make a habit where you actually get a lot of comments so that you don't actually need to understand the logic or even you need to read the comments or anything like that. You just read the comments and you understand what's happening out there in the code. It's a really good way. I cannot emphasize more on that. And now let's move on to the next movie.